Incoming message.
So, about 6 months ago, a guy posts a message on social media claiming to be from the year 2048. And, naturally, everyone laughed. I mean, it sounds completely absurd, right? It's pure sci fi. But in this explainer, we're going to dig into why his actual data absolutely demands our immediate attention. Because when you strip away the science fiction framing and just look at the cold, hard timeline, things get genuinely unsettling. We aren't dealing with vague, open-ended prophecies here. We're dealing with hard timestamps. And here is the explosive reality check. Out of his 3 core predictions posted late last year, 2 have already happened. And I mean exactly as he described them, down to the literal mechanisms and the global response. That is exactly why we need to ignore the time travel noise and pay attention to the math. We're going to put his scorecard to the test today and try to figure out if we're witnessing the luckiest string of guesses in human history or, well, something else entirely. So here is our investigation blueprint for today's explainer. First, we'll look at the viral 2048 claim itself. Second, we're grading the scorecard. Third, we'll break down the statistical improbability of all this. And finally, we'll look ahead to the August anomaly. All right, Section 1, the viral 2048 claim. And let me just say right up front, I'm not here to tell you time travel is real. We are taking a purely objective, empirical look at the data. Look, we've all seen it. Time traveler claims usually follow a super predictable, honestly exhausting pattern. Someone posts some dramatic predictions, the internet generates massive hype for like 48 hours, the dates come and go with total failure, and we all collectively roll our eyes and forget about it. It's just internet noise. But this case, it breaks that pattern completely. The original posts from late 2025 featured incredibly specific time-stamped claims, way before anyone was paying attention or even following his account. The digital footprint is locked in. There was no editing after the fact, no quietly deleting the misses to make the hits look better. He stated his claims on the record and just left them there for the world to eventually notice. Moving right along to Section 2, grading the scorecard. Okay, let's dive into this and do some detective work with the historical record. If we track the 2048 dossier chronologically, it proves these aren't retroactive guesses or manipulated posts. The originals were absolutely locked in during late 2025. And from there, he charted this highly specific direct path, an AI governance event in Q1 of 2026, a seismic event in March 2026, and an atmospheric anomaly in August 2026. Setting up a rigid timeline like this is incredibly risky for anyone trying to pull a fast one, right? Because reality catches up with you very quickly. Let's actually put his predictions to the test here. First up, he claimed there'd be a major AI governance event in the first quarter of 2026, involving a coalition of governments and a single major tech platform. The reality? The EU AI Act enforcement triggered exactly that, forcing a massive platform-level compliance action directly in Q1. So, check. Next, he predicted a seismic event above a 7.0 magnitude near a Pacific coastline in the first half of 2026. But then he added this really bizarre caveat. He explicitly said it would go underreported due to a simultaneous political event. Fast forward to March 2026. Major Pacific seismic activity hits, right on schedule. But it was almost entirely obscured by a massive, unprecedented political news cycle that just utterly dominated global coverage. The suppression aspect was spot on, so we'll call that partially verifiable. And finally, the third event, the August atmospheric event. Status on that one? Pending. Now you might be wondering, why do these specific details even matter? Well, this isn't your standard internet psychic vaguely waving their hands saying, a great change is coming, or beware of water. No, he names specific mechanisms, like government coalitions interacting directly with tech platforms. He provided exact timeframes, literally down to the quarter and the specific month. And remarkably, he identified exact media suppression patterns before they even happened. That terrifying precision is exactly what makes this scorecard so compelling. It completely elevates it from internet folklore straight into actionable data. Which brings us to Section 3, the statistical improbability. Let's shift our focus to the math for a second. Statistically speaking, the baseline success rate of randomly guessing global events within a specific time frame is ridiculously low. You're looking at a 5 to 10% success rate at best. The global news cycle just has way too many variables, too many actors, and honestly too much chaos to predict with any reliable certainty. Getting it wrong 90 to 95% of the time is pretty much the gold standard for internet prognosticators. Most of them just rely on the sheer volume of their guesses, kind of hoping you'll forget the dozens of times they were entirely wrong. But the contrast here is striking. Typical random guessing relies on vague astrological claims that you can retroactively fit to basically any news story you want. It's a parlor trick. But the 2048 scorecard, it boasts 100% sequential accuracy on its first two predictions using precise, specific mechanisms. Hitting that level of accuracy, especially with those specific caveats about media coverage and government actions, pushes the statistical probability to an absolute extreme edge. It means we're looking at one of two things here. Either a case of lottery-winning once-in-a-lifetime luck, or we are looking at someone with access to non-random information. We could literally be looking at the most sophisticated predictive modeling anyone has ever seen online.
Okay, Section 4, the August anomaly. This is the final high-stakes piece of the puzzle.
Let's look closely at the exact parameters of Prediction 3. He defines it as an anomalous atmospheric event. He says it will be highly visible to the naked eye, specifically in the Northern Hemisphere, during late August. And listen to this detail, because this is crazy. He claims it will last precisely 4 to 9 seconds. 4 to 9 seconds. He is not leaving himself any wiggle room here whatsoever. This isn't some vague feeling of unease. This is a highly specific, timed, and geographically constrained occurrence. It is meant to be universally observable by millions of people at the exact same time. But honestly, the most alarming detail is his exact warning regarding the aftermath. Quote, "Government will describe it as a technical malfunction. It will be the moment people stop believing the official explanation." End quote. He is actively predicting a coordinated official cover-up, and that completely escalates the real-world implications of this whole thing. He's not just predicting a bizarre light or some weird phenomenon in the sky. He's predicting a fundamental fracture in public trust triggered by whatever authorities claim that light was. So how do we handle this data? Well, here is your August action plan. Step 1, set a calendar reminder for late August right now. I've already set mine. Step 2, make it a point to actually observe the sky if you happen to be in the Northern Hemisphere. Literally, just look up. And step 3, if an event does occur, rigorously scrutinize the official technical explanation. We all need to be active participants in testing this data. Don't just blindly consume the news. Evaluate the narrative for yourself and see if it aligns with what's on the 2048 scorecard. To wrap this all up, look, I am not telling you this guy is actually from 2048, but I am telling you he is definitively 2 for 2 on his scorecard. He correctly predicted media suppression as a mechanism, and his final prediction lands in exactly 6 weeks. Which leaves us with a highly provocative, unavoidable question. What exactly will be in the sky this August?
Come to me, chickens! Cock-a-doodle-doo!